Bam, just like that. My friends, guess what? It is time. We live. We up in here. All right, you know what the deal is. I have to just make a quick invitation real quick and we'll be going. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, he's getting fast at this guy. Did you hear that? That's the sound of the connection is being made. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. All right, you have my undivided full attention. Almost, I'm almost there. Hey, happy quarantine day 99. I mean, it's probably not quarantine day 99, but I mean, does it kind of feel like quarantine day 99? Let me get a hallelujah if it feels like day number 99 for you. I gotta admit, man, let me get up in this motherfucker. When I got up this morning, True Fancy in the house. Happy Monday. Oh, it's Monday today. I forgot. I didn't realize what day it was. All right. The chat's popping off. All right, guys. So we're gonna jump into a flow. But hey, you know, part of Steel Mace Flow, fuck. Part of the reason, one of the biggest reasons Steel Mace Flow is out here is so I can express myself. And even though this is a different platform to teach Steel Mace Flow on, it's not going to stop me from expressing myself. I woke up this morning feeling very quarantined. I don't know how to explain how I feel, but I would say that's okay because all this is very new. But regardless, I woke up feeling quarantined, and it got to me a little bit today. And I thought, how funny, because it's a Monday, and Monday sometimes does that to you. Maybe I'm getting used to quarantine Mondays. But what did I do to get out of that? I connected with some friends online, some friends, you guys, and I'm continuing to provide content, both for the crew, both for you guys and myself, man. This stuff really helps me stay energetically charged for you guys. Okay, are you guys ready to frame by train? That's right, guys. Welcome to another edition of Flow the Fucks Down live. Okay, that's right. It's live. It's time. We're gonna click some buttons. We're gonna get rid of my face on that one, and then we're gonna get into this guy, guys. This one never been seen before. Released footage of the Savage. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna review this bad bitch, frame by frame. If you guys have questions, keep that shit to yourself, okay? I can't hear you. But if you do want to type them in the chat, I will look at your questions periodically. And if I can answer your questions humorously, then I will answer. Guys, we only got an hour, 1 hour, and then I've got to jump on to my client, David, in Australia. I've got a student in Australia. What does that mean? That means you can be my student too. How? Easy. Get a hold of me, hit me in the DM, tell me why you need my help, what you're going to do with it, and then maybe we're going to take you in as one of the students of the Leo Savages. And guys, without any further ados, let's go through this guy. Okay, I don't know what that was. That was further ados, I think. What the fuck just happened? Guys, does that ever happen to you guys when you're getting ready to throw down? Yeah. Open that shit. That's right. Okay. We're trying to frame by train here. Yeah, that's right. Boom. Okay. I think I fucked up my clickies here. Okay, we good. We good, baby. We good. Okay, we starting off this one. How do you protect your elbows from getting tendonitis? That's a great question. Don't swing your mace. Control your mace while you are going through swinging motions. Um, yeah, I guess we can kind of get into that. And since if that comes up in today's flow, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't, uh, just so you guys know, I got a question. I'm trying to answer the question. I can't really answer the question based on what we're going through today, but we will help you out with that. Okay, if you guys notice, I am in a familiar stance. I am in either, well, if you're Steel Mace Flow certified, I am in step 1 or step 3. A forward lunge or a back lunge. The one difference, well, you guys don't need me to point it out, but it's this thing right here. Boom, it's that. I am on my shoelaces, meaning if you were wearing shoes, your shoelaces would be on the ground versus the bottom of your foot. I don't need to explain that to you because you guys are all very smart. You all know what that means. But let's just talk about the particular structure. If we trace the knee up and continue to go all the way up into, it's hard to do with joints and, I mean, cannabis is in your hands. Oh my God. Okay, here we go, baby. Here we go. So safety, strength, and beauty. We've got a vertical line from knee to hip, and we are starting to tuck our hips in. That way we can start to stack our spine, both for safety, strength, and beauty. Also, this front shin, the knee is equal to the toe. Not too bad. Yeah, this is tobacco, but no, it's cannabis. I smoke cannabis. But anyway, there's the straight lines. And you're probably wondering, okay, what the fuck are we doing down here? What's going on, coach? Why are you on your shoelaces? Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of what we do is quad dominant in the mace. All the squats, all the lunges, all the things. Why? Because the weight is in front of us. Whenever we are carrying weight in the front of us and we do squats, typically those are going to be quad dominant squats. And so in order to pump up our calves, boom, we are lengthening the muscle as much as we can and contracting the muscle as much as we can. And believe me, you, or whatever they say, when you get into this position, your calf starts crawling up your leg, especially if you just do a little tiny curl of your toe, you will feel a couple things in your system turn the fuck on. So anyways, hey, this is just what we look like from the beginning. All right, guys, remember, part of Steel Mace Flow is to work through your shit. We can't possibly work through our shit with a completely rigid spine. AKA, if there is a stick up your ass, it's hard to express yourself. And I am expressing myself in this piece. We're only 1 second in, boys. Here we go. Kind of laying into my mace right there, arching and humping my back intentionally. Why? I thought bending your spine was a bad thing. Matter of fact, they call this flexion, as in don't fucking do that. Well, they tell you not to do that when you're deadlifting. They don't tell you to not to do that when you are working through an emotional state. That guy looks sad. That posture looks sad. Well, coach, why would you be going into a sad posture? Because that way I can work out of it. I am playing this video. You can see a guy walking in the back in a slow motions. All right, apparently we're going to be here for a while. My hands must smell really good, or maybe I forgot what I was doing. Oh, there it is. What just happened? Guys, we're going to need to annotate this. All right, let's change this up to less cautious colors. We got this guy, boom, we got this guy. You can see it, the calf is crawling up the leg. No, I did not lift my knee up, but instead I took my heel and I drove it straight towards my toes. Of course, my foot's in the ground, kind of like a door stop or a door jam. It's not going to let me go anywhere. But if you drive your heel forward, of course, your knee is going to lift up, but that's not the focus. The focus is to crawl this. You see all the arrows here? You guys get it. Crawl that calf up your leg, okay? Do that. Nope. Okay. That's going to do a couple different things. One, I think what we can start to see is that beauty. Let's break that down. Getting onto your tiptoe is beautiful. You noticed as I was in the frame with the heel down, not as beautiful. This guy is sad. Into a very beautiful, purposeful stance. This guy is no longer sad. This guy is thinking. I don't know, what do you guys think? Contemplating. He is working his way out of those heavy thoughts. Yes, yes, totally. And you can tell now that I have drove forward. I am a forward driving human now. Yes, that's right. I have drove all my energy forward. Yes, my spine, I am still asking the spine to be straight and vertical. Well, I mean, until we get to like over here, you know, we still want the back humped, but you'll start to notice is that the mace is running vertical now. And that gives us opportunity to bend this line here or to angle that line. You feel me? And I tell my customers, what the fuck? All right, part of this, I'm in an emotional state or in an emotional place. I'm working on my emotions here. This guy's feeling a little depressed. He drives his heel, points his toe, starts to look like he's thinking. And since I have found something purposeful, meaningful, I'm no longer in that depressed structure, but I am now in this thinking posture. And now I'm doing something about it. Forward thinking. I am moving towards. I don't know what you're moving towards. I don't know. Maybe you're moving towards something. Maybe you're not moving towards something. Me, when I work out, I am moving towards something. And there is an emotion. And so moving towards an emotion is a physical thing, but it's also a very ethereal thing. Here we go. I get deep, y'all. You know what I'm saying? From here, I draw my mace out of the ground. I dig my big toe and my right leg into the floor, and I drive myself back into this structure that I found myself in earlier. But this time, lifting the mace in my chest forces me to have a better posture. Notice this guy does not look like he is in a depressed state at all. After that, I do a fancy ass hand switch. And I reach down on the opposite side. Okay, guys, we call this rotated landmark 1 in an under-over grip. Weight in front to be exact. And typically what happens right here is the left hip is going to want to drop back, this left hip. And you'll have to watch for this very often. This left hip wants to do that. Of course, we have our kickstand here, and the foot laying down in this position always asks for thrust. Always asks us to drive our hip forward. Fact, try it. Put your shoelaces on the ground and your hip goes forward. Bang, you're welcome. All right, now since I'm opening towards my left side, my right knee is going to want to come inside. It's going to want to cross my center plane. So I'm going to have to be very active and drive that knee out the whole time. So I'm driving my right knee, I'm prouding my chest, and I'm getting as tall as I can. So you would say that I'm generating tension from head to toe. Now it's hard to generate tension from head to toe unless your hands are connected on something. In this case, my hands are connected on the mace, so I can grip my mace and physically try to rip the mace apart. So, and that's what I'm doing here, of course. And that helps me create a ton of tension. And back to it, my friends. Guys, this is a super fancy transition. Let's just watch this again. All right, the first part's not too bad. All right, do we do this one? Okay, easy here. I can't play in regular speed because it glitches, but listen, I just toss the mace up and I grab underneath. It's not too hard. I keep my right toe dug into the floor and I start to rotate my right shoulder behind me. All right, now the further I pull my right shoulder back, the more of a challenge it is going to be to keep my right toe on the floor. So at a certain point, I pull that right foot off of the floor. And granted, because I've been on my toe for a while, my calf probably needs a break. And you'll notice I go to my right foot on the floor. Okay, for those of you who are Steel Mace Flow coaches, this is almost a dragon squat. I'm sure you can identify why it is not a dragon squat, but it is very close to a dragon squat. All right, guys, this one gets super fancy. I do a 360. All right, guys, so typical thing that could happen is I can just do the 360. I can just do the 360, but something happens here. Something crazy happens here. Just being in this stance, I have to keep my right knee constantly driving out because, of course, the opposite action is it wants to drive in, right? If I relax that leg, my leg's going to drop in. Easy. All right. So either I can just keep fighting to hold my ground and do my 360, or as the mace passes what essentially is cross body bottom back, I start to let that tension take over. I start to let these red lines run their course and stop worrying necessarily about the blue lines. And my knee goes back to its forward position. All right. I get onto my toe. You know, you guys probably need to see that one just a few more times because it's super, it's, you know, it's like the coolest fucking thing in the world. Okay. Boom. I start to swing. I swing away from my lead knee. I swing away from my lead knee. As the mace passes center, I start to let my knee drop in. As I go past cross body back, I pull over. You guys might remember last class that we talked about changing directions. Now this is high tech, super fancy. I'm gonna drop the fancy business on you guys, okay? Let's just get this fancy business out of the way. That's not gonna do. Let's start here. Let's do this. Okay. Okay, that'll work. Okay. I know that's a bad angle of the arrow. Anyways, the 360 is going in a single plane, in our like lateral plane. But because I pivot a quarter turn, the mace, it stays in the same plane, but I switch directions. You'll notice that the mace goes over and continues to travel in the same plane, even though I pivot out, which means I could go back. And this is something I do very often, guys, is I'll go from swinging forward to swinging back and taking my knee in with me. So that, guys, is a really neat shift of energy, and boom, boom. I'll make sound effects. Okay. After that, I go into my tall active stance. I use the mace as a base, and I really, really am driving my hips into this one. And I am using my toe to dig into the floor, and I am trying to bury this mace handle into the AstroTurf. After that, I really challenge this back leg by extending the lever. And doing our bow and arrow. All right, now a couple things happen here. We're gonna draw. We're gonna draw, y'all. Feel me? You feel me? Okay, let's do yellow. All right, so originally when I started, I was here, meaning my hip was stacked above my knee, and so on. I'm getting a little weary here, guys. My bad. So what happened was, you can tell I drove my hips forward, I drove my shoulders forward, and I drove my elbow forward. Which, if you think about it, I have drove so far forward, and I was able to do that because of this amazing drive right here, driving my ankle forward. And drive, once I've done that, I crawl my calf all the way up my leg, and then I drive my hips forward just as much as I can. And so very beautiful, very, very beautiful. But something that happens here is this takes a lot of the pressure from the mace, because you see, I haven't really pressed the mace outside, but I'd say halfway. As opposed to if I held my center line and did my bow and arrow, it would probably be somewhere out to there, which is a lot more force. All right. So a couple different ways of doing that. I happen to think this particular shape is extremely beautiful. There's a lot of rotation to control here. There's a lot of purposeful rotation, choosing what is going to rotate and how much. There's a lot of counter rotation. Well, I don't really want to get too much into it. Anyways, back to the jams. So you can see that I go back to holding that center ground in this frame. I've also lowered my heel. My heel is not driving into my ankle as much. There's probably a little bit of fatigue that's happening there. All right, I go to toes down on the floor. So that's toes down versus shoelaces. I grab my mace in the "you owe me money" chokehold. Okay, there's a bunch of names for that one. I like to call it the "you owe me money" chokehold. There's a little bit of positioning in the toes, and then, all right, so I'm doing the same exact thing that we did earlier. Just, well, the thing here is I'm no longer hands on the floor. My hands are on my mace. So I'm driving my ankle forward as much as I can. And of course, I'm making this line as absolutely straight as could be. And you'll start to notice different structures and different straight lines throughout. So here we go. Taking away the platform of the hands on the floor, 2 hands on the floor, or a hand on a mace on the floor. Guys, there's going to have to be a significant of downforce. You're going to have to stab the shit out of the floor. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but sure is nice. So just kind of sitting in and out, finding balance, playing with a little bit of the architecture of the spine. All right, so pulling the mace head closer to you is just a little bit different of a balance. It's not that I think it's easier or harder, but I think it is a nice progression to get the globe closer to your heart, closer to your center mass, your core, whatever. And then to take the handle off of the floor, I tend to wobble whenever I take the mace handle off of the floor. That one I happen to do pretty good. All right. So I'm in affectionately what we know as landmark number 2, under over. I bring the mace out past knees. I do a prayer switch. The challenge of having the mace all the way out in front of you, of course, there's a little shift in my energy, in my structure right there. Very difficult activations here. There is probably some asshole out there saying, hey, Leo, you're going to roll your ankles if you do that. And to them, I say, I roll my ankles all the time. And what I've come to find out is because I train like this, when I roll them, I go, oh, I'm glad I trained the way I do. So when I roll my ankles, I'm good. All right, how do you train a specific stance? If you want to train that stance in 360 degrees, you're right. Put a 360 on it. Okay, 2 things happen here. 1, my structure gave. 2, I realized it was happening. And so the exit, just like we did earlier, is to pivot 2. You might remember earlier, I pivoted, and this is the same pivot. And you'll notice I am virtually in the same position as when we first coached that. All right, so some progression for you guys. This is a fun one. A lot of fancy stuff in here. A lot to work through. All right, and then you're going to say, hey, Leo, I'm not super strong in these positions. What are some things that I can do? And then this next series, I'll just run you through it. Starting in rotated landmark 1, weight in the back. I am in a kneeling position, both knees, and I'm on my toes, not my shoelaces. I'm going to go into cross body bottom. At the same time, I'm going to drive my hips up. Asking, most importantly, your right hip to obey the straight lines. And you're going to do an uppercut into landmark 3. Guys, notice my hips are still under me. Same thing. Cross body. You're probably saying, Leo, how is this going to get me strong doing that thing? Oh, hey, that helps me get into that stance. That's awesome. Don't worry about that. That's why I'm your coach, guys. That's why I do this for you, okay? That's why I'm here. I'm here for you guys. There is something so beautiful about this timing, guys. I fucking love it. Okay, so now you can tell that the back foot is nice and flat. Actually, both feet are in unicorn position. More on that later. And this time I really load those motherfuckers up. And you'll notice, of course, I don't think I necessarily need to do this, but straight line, elbow to elbow, straight line, straight lines here, 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 here. A bunch of straight lines, guys. You know what I'm saying? See the straight lines? Boom. That shit ain't easy, pimp. That shit ain't easy, pimp. Started to do the pieces together and in motion rather than do the uppercut, rotate, and then go back. All right, guys, here I just kind of got into flow and I did some fancy hand transitions. Got a little stumbled on this grip right here. My chest and biceps are just too big to get that switch. That's what it was. Of course, doing the 360 from the kneeling shoelace position helps open and work the angles. And then something as simple as doing a hand switch. And sitting back into your ankles. Okay, guys, hey, quick question. Is that a flow in the traditional sense, a steel mace flow? Or, this is tricky, is this a mobility flow? There's a lot of strength positions. There's a lot of static holds. Is this a strength-based workout? There's a lot of flexing for a long time, long periods of time. Is this a stamina-based workout or flow or whatever you want to call it? Guys, that is the motherfucking lesson for today. Guys, that was awesome. That was great. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. Real quick before we leave, you know what the deal is, boys. You're going to go to Steel Mace Flow. That's right, steelmaceflow.com. And eventually what's going to happen here is it's not going to come up. Don't worry about it, Pam. Hey, Steel Mace Flow Level 1 is going to be on sale until the pandemic is, until we start to come out of this pandemic. Just something to help keep you guys busy. There's a ton of workouts on there. There's fucking a ton of reps. Not only that, you get to learn the art of Steel Mace Flow. Hey, listen, you're going to want to teach it to your friends, so you might as well get certified. My whole level 1 course is only $300 US. Hey, and if you just want to donate to the chat, you guys can hit me at PayPal, Mace Movement, Boom. Guys, that's actually why I got this Mace Movement tattoo here, is so I can remember my PayPal. If you guys want to get me on my PayPal, boom, little donation. Listen, hey, I'm going to do something with that money to help out, okay? Going to figure out somebody to help out. And so you guys donate generously. And we'll do a video and update you guys on how that works out. Lots of love, my friends. You know, hope you guys find flow. And as always, inspire to create, educate to heal, put mace in hands.